9:04 on this Monday, July 18th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello everybody and welcome here on, would you believe, a rainy Monday. We welcome you to our program. I didn't check the rain gauge this morning. I don't know how much rain we've had, but there was a little water in the ditch, so maybe a half inch, I'm guessing. We're on the air for Absolute Kubota, and T.R. Kirby is here to do the commercial this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to see you again, and really, I'm glad we got a little rain. It was beginning to get just a little dry again.
Yeah, it is, and the more rain, the merrier, as long as it comes in a steady pattern. I'll be happy with it.
Yeah. Well, you of course, with Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main in Lebanon, where they do Kubota tractors, hay equipment, zero-turn mowers, RTVs, everything from weed eaters to hay balers, but you love the hay part, don't you?
I love it all. It all just brings me joy selling people the proper equipment for their needs to complete their tasks and jobs.
You still sell a lot of lawnmowers?
Yes, sir. We sell lawnmowers from January to December every year. Sometimes it's tough to get a particular model or size, but we usually have some coming in and can mark your name on one.
Well, now you only do Kubota lawnmowers at Absolute Kubota, right?
We do Kubota, X-Mark, and Hustler.
You're okay. Well, my bad. I'm sorry about that. But which one do you sell the most of?
Well, X-Mark is the #1 selling commercial lawnmower. All three brands are really good brands. I wouldn't want to sell something I didn't have confidence in myself. The Hustler's a really nice driving machine. The X-Mark leaves that quality cut, and the Kubota is a very reliable and durable machine.
Yeah, we didn't talk much about the Hustlers. Over the years, we've talked a lot about X-Mark and Kubota, and the X-Mark, you said a lot of commercial people have those. But if you
Correct.
don't want to put that much into one, a Kubota is going to get the job done too.
Correct, just as well as a Hustler. Hustler turf equipment is part of Excel Industries, which Stanley Black & Decker owns as well. They just purchased them within the last year, and they have the Raptor series. It's a really economical series for the homeowner with up to about 2 acres, I would say. They have models anywhere from 32 to 60 inches in below about $8,000.
Well, don't you know that all these people that mow lawns in the summertime for a living or extra money or whatever, glad to see it rain from time to time because they want that grass to grow.
Yeah, yes, sir, they do, and they want to make sure their yards look manicured as well. They want to leave a nice finished product just as well as the homeowner does.
Second crop of hay, when will that be coming along?
That all is a Mother Nature question. It depends on how much it rains. If we can get the right amount of rainfall within a certain time and it doesn't turn off dry.
Yeah.
It all depends on when you did the first cutting as well, as fast as that grass can rejuvenate and get to the proper stage.
Off the hay equipment, what do you sell the most of? Maybe the top 2 or 3?
Definitely the disc mowers, and then it's the rakes behind that. The Kubota disc mowers, if you've ever seen a disc mower, you'll say it looks like a Vicon, and it is. We purchased the parent company of Vicon, Coverland, and transitioned all their hay tools into Kubota hay tools. A great, reliable product that has many innovations in the industries and true to who they are.
Well, you have adequate supply on hand. Can you get them a particular model fairly easily?
Yes, we can get certain disc mowers. We actually sold out of them right now. Sold out of everything I ordered in the spring. Hopefully I can get some fairly quick that are in the warehouse in Georgia. I do have rakes and balers there in stock, ready to go.
Well, you've got all of this at Absolute Kubota there on West Main Street. T.R. Kirby is one of the salespeople. Don Hamlet, who comes here when you're not here most of the time, is the other one. And You do a little bit more too, don't you?
Yeah, parts and service. You'll see me in the parts department a lot of days. And then if somebody's out for the day or taking some leave of absence, I'm in the service department as well. If you need to come check something in, come in, see Clint, see me in the parts department. And we're open Monday through Friday, 7 to 5, and Saturday, 8 to 12.
Well, our conversation wouldn't be complete if we didn't mention those RTVs, recreational terrain vehicles, which everybody seems to love.
Oh, yes, sir. They're so handy, so reliable, durable. They just keep going the extra mile. They move your tools around, move you around, and your grandchildren or kids or you around as well.
Well, again, all of this at Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main, and T.R. Kirby, who is here, one of the people that you will see there, who will welcome you. And we could also mention your website, which we probably don't enough, but I expect a lot of people do go to that just to see what it's all about, www.absolutekubota.com.
Yes, sir.
Well,
You too.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
All right, that is it for Absolute Kubota, and this morning we've sort of got a special program. It may be more than sort of special, I don't know. It's not every day that we have the presidents of both the Lebanon and Mount Juliet Chambers of Commerce in the same time slot, but today we do. Ladies first, Melanie Mentor, President, CEO, Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It's good to see you, and you even made it at 7 o'clock. You always like the 7:32 slot if you have a choice.
You're absolutely right. I was telling Daryl when we walked in that I woke up, I think, at 1:30 and 4:30 just to make sure I was going to be on time with you today, Coleman.
Mark Hinesley is here from Mount Juliet Chamber. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you this
I'm
morning?
doing well, and if things go according to schedule, you'll be back again Wednesday. So you don't want to say anything today. You're going to repeat Wednesday now.
Hey, you know what? I'll probably repeat this afternoon what I'm saying right now, and it'll all be new to me again.
Oh, we've got everyone's Wilson, Mr. Darrell Crouch, with us this morning, and good morning to you.
Great to be with you. Thanks, Coleman.
All right. Now, I don't know who wants to start it out here, but Mark, I think I'm going to call on you here to tell us what this is all about, why the three of you are here, and we've never, that I know, done anything just like.
Well, there's one reason why the three of us are here, but there's a number of reasons how something like this is even possible. And if we have time, I might share my thoughts on what kind of an environment it takes for something like this to happen. But this is basically an outcropping, I won't even say the end result, because in a lot of ways I think we're just beginning with this. But Director of Schools Jeff Luttrell, late last fall, early winter, was talking about the challenges facing our teachers. And those are many, and to the point where some are deciding that perhaps a different career is in their future. And that doesn't serve any of us well. And one of the things he said that it's not time, it's not money, it's not this or that, but he felt like that we needed to show him we cared at the end of the day. I think that's what it really came down to. So when I got back to the office, my first call was to Melanie and said, this is a county-wide issue. It's affecting the public, the press. It just percolated along for a number of months. And then we realized that this was going to be a lot of water to tote and that we needed some stakeholders. And the first one that came to mind was Daryl and what he's doing at Everyone's Wilson, because they are touching literally all of the churches and they touch all of the students. And then, of course, TN Community, and I'll share my thoughts about, in a way, how they sort of help set the stage for making this possible. But this is all about getting together, and if we can't do anything else, I think everyone can agree that we're going to show the teachers how much we appreciate them. And maybe when they look out and see that the entire business community, church community are behind them, I have to think and hope and pray that gets them through some of those tough days.
Mm-hmm. All right, Melanie, you want to add to that?
Sure. I just want to say that this is an initiative between the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce, the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce, and the Watertown Chamber of Commerce. So Austin is unable to be with us this morning, But and then thank you to Daryl for stepping in. So we really appreciate your help with the faith community. But today's a kickoff for us. Wilson County Teacher Appreciation Initiative. We love our teachers. So we're super excited about this. As Mark said, this is for all schools across Wilson County, whether you're public or private. Actually, there are 32 schools, 23 Wilson County schools, 7 Lebanon Special School District, and 2 private schools, Friendship Christian and Mount Juliet Christian Academy. So we're just super excited that we can come together and we can unify together and we can say we are better together. And we're better together because we want to make a difference in Wilson County.
Daryl, let's have your comments on this.
Yeah, well, you can meet with teachers and administrators, and every single one of them are bringing their A game every day. And it's really exciting as you talk to them about what they're doing in the classroom, in the school setting, but it's a really difficult culture. There's lots of needs, more that go well beyond reading and writing and arithmetic. There's social emotional needs, trauma-informed care. A lot of students are coming in their doors with a lot of other issues that are barriers to their education. And so these administrators and educators are, again, bringing their A game. And we just believe that a culture of support keeps and attracts the very best educators in the country. And so we just want Wilson County to be a place where folks want to teach, want to give their lives to students. We know that when we do that as upstream as possible, 10 or 12 years down the road, we're a better community for it.
And I think I've seen on the news lately, heard on the news, that there is a shortage of teachers, and we have several who are either retiring or choosing to go somewhere else for their livelihood. And it's a problem because there's employment available in just about every school district right now for some qualified teachers.
Absolutely. There's and that's across the board in a lot of industries, but certainly education is at the top of the heap. And we want to, again, create a culture that folks want to teach here, want to stay in this community, want to raise their kids here. And we believe, as Mark said, it's not about money or about physical resources as much as it is about the support and feeling like you're part of something greater. And certainly we want to pay our teachers better, and we want to provide them all the resources they need to be successful. But if you come to work every day knowing that the whole community is behind you, you're going to be a lot more excited about it.
So you've got some ideas to create a better atmosphere in this regard.
Well, we will launch today, and Mark and Melanie may want to speak to it, a We Love Our Teachers initiative. With signs and fan clubs that will help them get the year started well.
All right,
and,
we'll get in more further discussion about that. It is time for a break, and that again is a lot of what today is all about, if I understand it. Okay, break right here. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:16. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by our friends at Absolute Kubota, fully staffed service center and parts department. Most of their minor services can be done the same day, servicing Exmark, Kubota, Land Pride, Red Max, and Billy Goat, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They're on the scene of this crash, blocking the left lane 65 northbound at Harding Place. That's aggravating that traffic coming up from Brentwood, Williamson County, here on 65 northbound at Harding Place. Trying to wrap up a crash on 65 south at the north loop that's had traffic really slow go. Again, our biggest delay right now appears to be trying to get up from Brentwood because of this crash here on 65 northbound. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, home of the world famous cotton candy wine. They've got some new flavors. Check them out at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Contact Stephen Lowry Land Clearing for all your land clearing needs. Whether it's clearing trails for ATVs, reclaiming pasture, or clearing your land of brush and trees, Stephen Lowry can get the job done. He works closely with customers, adjusting to make changes as you want. Steve Lowry will give you quality work at a price that you could afford. He will also beat any written estimate. Call Stephen Lowry at 615-970-8154 for all your land clearing needs. That's Stephen Lowry Land Clearing, 615-970-8154.
I'm Glenn Denton, and your primary candidate for 20th District Commissioner. I'm the only real conservative on the ballot and the only one listed for this seat. But I have 2 write-ins opposing me, so I need each one of your votes. No more huge property tax hikes or piling up a big debt. We have gone over 25 years without proper representation, and I have served 33 years in this district spiritually, truthfully, and boldly. It's time for a wise choice, a clear voice for clean government. Elect Glenn Denton, 20th District Commissioner.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. And I have a trio of people here this morning I'll reintroduce if you're just joining us. From the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce, Melanie Minter, Mount Juliet Chamber, Mark Hinesley, and Daryl Crouch, everyone's Wilson. And we're talking about teacher appreciation and some ways to expand on that and make a better atmosphere, better appreciation for teachers. And y'all can say this a lot better than I, but what all is planned in what is going to be done?
Well, Melanie, why don't you share with them what this morning looks like? And those listening, set your coffee down, pay attention, because this is kind of important. You got an hour to go get ready for this, right?
I was going to say there's plenty of time left. So at 8:30 this morning, we'll be at the Wilson County Schools Administrative and Training Complex. So you still have time to join us. There we will have Wilson County Mayor Randall Hutto. There will be elected officials attending as well as stakeholders and supporters, those that support the teacher initiative. So we're super excited for everybody to be there this morning. It's what we call a kickoff or a press release. So we're going to be there, and we want anyone to show up for us and for the community, business, individuals, whoever is out there that really wants to support teachers.
So I take it that in your planning and your talking prior to today, you came up with this idea for today, and how timely that we managed to have it here. We can sort of say this is the kickoff of it here on the radio, maybe to invite everybody out.
You're such a newsbreaker. I'll tell you what, Coleman, you want to hear it first? Hear it on WANT.
You get it.
That's right. 7:03 on Monday morning, right?
We're going to have fan clubs. I mean, the most important thing that we're going to do today is just let the public know. We have media. Mark and I were on an interview with News Channel 2 last week. So, we talked about our county values, and they're built on the quality of life, safety, and education. And that's where Mark said, I think you stole that from Wilson County Mayor Randall Hutto. And I said, well, that's okay. He knows that I've been at everything that he does. But, we are here for education because the teachers and the students, they're teaching those students, and they are our future leaders. And our workforce will depend on teachers and making sure that they are connecting with the students. And although we've had to pivot during this time, we just want them to know that we're all there for them. But these actual fan clubs will be at every school. So we talked about that, 32 schools. So our goal is to have 6 to 8 people, which is 200 or 235, if I did the math correctly. But we will have fan clubs at all schools, and on their in-service day, their first day in their classrooms. So on the 26th are the Wilson County schools. So we'll be at all of the Wilson County schools. Volunteers, if you want to be a volunteer, please sign up for us. Please call any Chamber of Commerce or Everyone's Wilson, Daryl, and we will make sure that you are at a school. I know Daryl's worked with his church leaders, and they're going to have people there as well. But we want to make sure that we are recognizing those teachers when they arrive for their first day. On the 27th will be LSSD, so Lebanon Special School District will have their in-service. All teachers will be together at Winfrey Bryant that day. And then August the 2nd will be Friendship Christian School, so we will be arriving there. And then to be announced is Mount Juliet Christian.
Well, it seems like you've put a lot into this. What kind of a difference do you think maybe this can make, Daryl? You're pretty close to all of this with Everyone's Wilson and with what you've been trying to do, and I think you're here, you're part of it. You no doubt like what is being planned and thought out here.
Yeah, well, if you talk to teachers and administrators, educators, it's been 3 years since they've had what they would consider a normal school year. 2020, there was a tremendous disruption that they're still working through. And so when human beings show up and show support, it makes a big difference. We're all in the relationship business. And over the last few years, we've been isolated. COVID isolated us, and a lot of social and political things isolate us. And so we just know that the health of a community is built on the health of relationships. And so as we bring humans into a space with other humans, a lot of good things happen. And so we just think that these fan clubs and signs in the yards and just reminders to these people that serve us so well, that what they do is important, is invaluable to the health of our community. We believe it makes a difference.
What difference will this make with the students who see this, who see the support there? I can't help but think that's going to be a very positive thing, that maybe a student, well, maybe I ought to behave a little bit better. Maybe I need to love my teacher just a little more.
Absolutely. It trickles down. You're right, Coleman. It really does. We were with a principal on Thursday, and she mentioned the emotional health of her own faculty was so important. And if we don't care for them, it's really tough to care for the students. And so as we invest in the teachers, and then as students see how important their teachers are, they'll start to invest in their teachers as well. Kids can add a tremendous value to the educational process. They're not just recipients, but they're investors as well.
Your thoughts, Mark? I know earlier you were hoping you'd have time to
this is
expound some more.
Well, today's just the kickoff. We still have a lot of work to do, but I also think that the parents, when they see "We love our teachers" with a sign out in front of our local businesses, maybe our churches, heck, I would imagine it'll even be in neighborhoods, in the yards and things like that. I think that's going to give the people that already live here confidence that, the families and the businesses support education. I think can you imagine someone thinking about moving to Wilson County, and they come into town and they drive through town and they see "We love our teachers"? I got to think, that's a leg up to get them to move here. And realize it's part of a much bigger picture. When you have a well-educated populace, you have good taxpayers, you have good customers, you have good business owners, you have good church patrons. Businesses want to support a thriving educational system, and I don't think you have to look any farther than Wilson County to see that. And, I don't know really where it starts. I know one of the places has to be a stable government, and by that I'm talking about a consistent message that's being out. Melanie mentioned Mayor Hutto's 3 pillars. They've added one since, but those haven't changed in nearly a decade and a half. And so our eye's been on the ball a long time, and I was thinking back, to what makes that possible. My first probably observation of people in different locations coming together, you could go back to the 90s when they formed the JECDB. Mm-hmm. Now, people don't really think about it. They may not even know what all that stands for, but that was 3 communities, 3 sets of elected officials, throw in the county as a 4th, and they got together and worked out how to work together to recruit businesses and industry to our county. And to me, that was, maybe it happened before, but that was my first observation when they hired Pat Lyle. I guess that was back in the early 90s, late 80s, and said, you know what, together we can do better than any one of us. We don't need 4 site selectors out there trying to tell where, Ruby Tuesday's where to put your store or where Under Armour ought to go. Got together and said, what's best for you? So I think to me, that in my mind, that's what set the tone. Because I promise you, they all have, their little kingdom or jurisdiction or whatever, but they put all that aside for the greater good. And then, you fast forward a little bit to a few years ago, the banks. It may not be a more competitive industry out there than banking, but 9, 10, 11 of them got together and formed TN Community, all put money into a single checking account, which that's kind of hard to believe, but they did it for the greater good. And we're seeing results from those efforts every single day, in my opinion. It's not an accident that so many people are taking a look at Wilson County and wanting to be here. Now, I think there's a responsibility from everybody to make sure that we provide the very best that we can. And when the teachers You know, I heard, it might have been Daryl mentioned, you know, it's nice if everybody takes a dozen donuts to the police department. But other thing, there are 2 nonprofits and a business that are sort of something. One more kind of nudge along the way for that end result. And every once in a while something comes along that you just say, you know what, everything else is getting put aside. This is exciting, and I couldn't be happier with the way things are going.
Boy, we just got 2 minutes left. Time is flying by this morning. We kind of need to recap. Is there anything we've left out, Melanie? You've got all the notes over here.
No, you know, partnerships and unity. I mean, I believe all of us sitting here know that if we have the partnerships and we have the unity of our county, then we're going to see a difference. And people love Wilson County. People love Wilson County because we care. And this is just another way for us to show as partners and being unified that we care. And so I just want to thank you for having us on this morning. Let everyone know that you can purchase signs at every chamber of commerce for $10 if you're interested for your businesses. A lot of businesses are buying them in bulk and making sure that we see those signs.
What's the
throughout
sign
Wilson
say?
County. Bunch of signs. We got plenty of time.
What's it say? We love our teachers?
We love our Wilson County teachers.
All right. Daryl, why don't you have the last word this morning? You've been remarkably quiet, I think, but
I've never been accused of that, Colson, so I appreciate the compliment. But a partnership really is where this is at. And as we all, as both of Melanie and Mark have mentioned, live open-handed, put aside our own agendas for the wholeness of this community, then more people get to live whole. And so this is one effort among many. And we are all, this is important for folks in our space, that we're all eating from vineyards we didn't plant and drinking from wells we didn't dig. This community has been built for a very long time through people who have sacrificed greatly for us. And so we're simply trying to take the baton and provide a better future for those that come after us. And so this is just one more effort in that way.
And your meeting today?
Today, 8:30 a.m.
And anybody that would like to come is invited?
Anybody that would like to come is invited. We'll have more to share then. Don't want to miss out.
All right. Well, thank you all for being with us today. We appreciate it. Melanie Minter, Lebanon Chamber of Commerce, Mark Heisley, Mount Juliet Chamber, and Daryl Crouch, everyone's Wilson. And that's part 1 of Coleman and Company. Keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And at 7:31, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, and get a battery installed on most vehicles. $134.95. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still trying to clean up this wreck on 65 northbound at Harding Place. It's aggravating that heavy traffic trying to get up from Brentwood, coming up from Franklin here through Williamson County is just struggling now on 65 northbound as they try to clear this wreck near Harding Place. That's what we're looking at live right now. It's building pretty good coming over from Mount Juliet on I-40 and also 65 south, pretty heavy there at Trinity Lane. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, home of the world famous cotton candy wine. Now they've got some new flavors. Check them out at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Exmark builds mowers that deliver a perfect cut in less time. Because we believe what you get out of your lawn, not your mower, is what matters most.
Find signature cut quality, comfort, and reliability. Exmark's Laser Z is the zero-turn more landscape pros trust. Find attractive financing and the Exmark that's right for you at Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main in Lebanon.
Exmark, official mowers of the backyard life.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy. Charles Lehman is asking for your vote for Wilson County Trustee August 4th. Charles grew up in Noreen and has been a lifelong resident of Wilson County. Charles Lehman brings a strong education tempered with decades of experience to provide the citizens of Wilson County with a rock-solid background for their next trustee. Working as an appraiser for the comptroller of the Treasury for 34 years and going into real estate after retirement, Charles brings a strong foundation to serve as your next trustee. Paid for by committee to elect Charles Lehman treasurer.
Middle to upper 80s are on tap today with more storms in the forecast. We won't be able to escape the rain overnight, down into the upper 60s. Slightly warmer Tuesday in the lower 90s with a bit more sunshine, but a continued slight rain chance. Wednesday will be very similar to Tuesday, but it will be even warmer. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Eric Striva.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2. It is a Monday morning, and Monday morning means that Billy Mullinax, who's also known as No Haggle, has arrived and is ready to talk with us about Rocky Williams, Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram of Mount Juliet. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Man, it's good to see you as always. Whether it's raining or shining, you're here on Monday morning at this time.
Well, hopefully I brighten your morning up with a little sunshine, Coleman, even when it's cloudy.
I think you bring sunshine to all of us. And we know the no-haggle pricing brings sunshine to a lot of people. It has been for however long you've been doing this, which is how many years for Rocky?
Well, Rocky has been doing no haggle now for about 12 years.
12 years.
I've been there about 10 and a half years now. Yeah. It's hard to believe.
Well, yeah, time flies. And even more when you're having fun.
That's right. Absolutely.
No haggle pricing. Everybody pays the same great low price, and that's the way it's been for those 12 years and 10 and a half for you.
Yes. Well, and it's just a fair, honest, transparent way to do business, Coleman, to know that regardless of who it is, nobody's going to get a better price than somebody walking in off the street that doesn't know anybody. And that's certainly not the norm for this business. It is the way we buy most everything else that we buy. We don't go in and negotiate at Walmart or Kroger or anywhere. So we feel like that the automotive business can be the same way. As you post a fair price, and that's the price that everybody pays, where you don't single people out and say, well, you're going to get a better deal than the person standing next to you.
Yeah. Well, the thing that you've done, and you've said this over and over again, we have every here on Monday mornings especially, but you go as low as you can go right at the start. This is how much we've got to make on each of our cars here to keep the doors open, pay the bills, and all this.
And feed the fish.
Feed the fish in that saltwater aquarium, yes.
Well, the fish have to be fed, Coleman.
But when you start out at the bottom price, then there's no movement. That's just it. And it sounds a little crude. It's not. But take it or leave it. And if you can get a better deal, I guess you go get a better deal. If you can't, this is probably going to be the best one you're going to find.
Well, that's right, Coleman. And I had two people. One may have been Friday and one Saturday. I think both of them may have been Saturday, but they were talking about they had been to other dealers, and they were talking, and they were bought from us. So that'll tell you a little bit. But they were talking about how they felt like that they were mistreated just because of the way the pricing was. The dealer was pricing over MSRP, adding addendums, making the vehicle several $1,000s more. Yes, vehicles are in short supply. New vehicles are. But Coleman, you still, we believe in treating people with respect and being honest and fair. And we don't price any of our vehicles over MSRP, and most of them are not even anywhere close to that. But some of the specialty vehicles, just for instance, the Grand Wagoneer, that you can't hardly get them, and they're sold normally before they get there. Those we do price at MSRP. But Coleman, a lot of our vehicles, many of our new vehicles are at invoice. And
yeah, that'll tell you something.
well, that's right. And like I said, both of these customers bought from us, but just in visiting with them, they were telling me about the bad experience that they had had at some other places.
Well, when's the end of the automotive month? We're just past the middle of July right now. But
It'll be on Monday the 1st.
okay. So that is 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today. Well, I hope July's going well for you.
It is going good, Coleman. You know, we've had a great year again this year so far, and anticipating a good finish to the year. But sales have been good.
Well, if anybody's got one they want to get rid of, are you buying people's vehicles?
Coleman, we are very aggressive in buying. If somebody has got a vehicle that they just don't get much use anymore, or they don't have use for anymore, don't matter how old it is or how new it is, we'll be glad to give them a fair offer on their vehicle, and they don't not under any obligation to buy one from us.
You know what? And Mayor Hutto sitting over here just chomping, wondering if we're going to get to this.
We will. We have to, Coleman.
The entire inventory of new and pre-owned cars you can see at RockyWilliams.com.
Might even see your neighbor there, Coleman.
But don't forget that. That's where most people go, RockyWilliams.com. Your entire inventory is there. The no-haggle price is there. You don't even have to leave your name or anything. You just go there and see what's available.
That's exactly right. All with our great low no-haggle price clearly posted.
Price their cars and not their customers at Rocky Williams. And we're about out of time this morning. A rainy day, but if you can't work outside, you can come shop Rocky Williams.
That's right. Come see us.
Well, have a good week.
Thank you, Coleman.
See you next Monday. Billy Mullinax, General Manager for Rocky Williams, Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram of Mount Juliet, 600 Pleasant Grove Road. We're 20 and a half before the hour, and Mayor Hutto is here this morning. Mayor Randall Hutto, County Mayor, good morning.
Good morning to you, Coleman. How are you?
I'm doing well, and it is nice to see you again. And we know you've got a lot of information for us, as you always have, so I'm going to let you take it away.
Well, and appreciate you doing that as well. And this month's county commission meeting is kind of a lot, to be honest with you. It's the first one after the budget passed, and we have really no resolutions tonight, Coleman, which is maybe one of the first. I think we'll have a few meetings before the county commission meeting tonight that will allow us for us to have one or two in there. But, you know, it's really a good process, I think, too, when you go back and you think about, you know, some people might say, well, no resolutions. That doesn't sound like you're doing anything. But really and truly, hats off goes to Aaron Maynard and LaBronya Horton for their budget process that we went through this year. Really did a tremendous job. And a lot of people don't, you know, I think the general public, you know, when it's budget season, excuse me, think of a couple of things maybe. They either know somebody that's an employee and hoping that they get a raise, or hoping that we have no tax increase. And a lot of times that is the general public's view of that. Behind the scenes, there is a ton of tremendous work that goes on with starting at elected official and department heads deciding what do they need. Do they need to rearrange their budget or not? They have meetings with their county commissioners in their own committee to kind of prove their budget or the changes they want to make. Then they present those, of course, to the budget committee and stand in front and say, hey, this is what I've got and this is what I need. That's when we list the needs that we have throughout the county. And then they work through that process, the budget committee does. And I would like to thank them as well. That's Annette Stafford, Diane Weathers, Tommy Jones, and Wendell Marlowe. Wendell Marlowe is the chair, but they did a good job as well. We met several times. So, you know, sometimes people say, well, didn't even know you guys even was meeting on the budget, you know, but there are many meetings that happen over the course of time. And actually, I put a calendar out that has to, by law, by the 1st of February of every meeting that we're supposed to have during that time ahead of time so people can plan. So just very thankful for them and the work that they did. The pay plan, of course, was approved this time, which helps hopefully our people obtain and retain good folks It was about $6.6 million for that. And that sounds like a lot. It definitely is. We were able to absorb that within our budget with our growth money, again, by moving a few things around. I go back to thanking finance for that. But the process of that pay plan is not an easy one as well. Love to thank Kiana Scruggs and Bethany and her office there. They are a great team together, and HR has a tremendous job in trying to do that. And then making sure that the people that come in and work the study for us worked with all of our department heads and elected officials to make sure that we're maintaining or getting the kind of salary we need. And it's, everybody's not apples to apples. So when they go out and do this survey, they really have to fight hard early on to say, well, what kind of operation are you running? How big a department do you have? How many people? What all do they do? And then they go through the job descriptions to try to find out what everybody does. And then they have to reach out to the surrounding counties and cities to say, okay, who's got similar jobs? What is the market price for that job today? And as he told us, once we passed the pay plan, he said in July, the next day it'll be outdated. And that is so true. If you have Sheriff Brown out here, I'm sure, or Joy Cooper, or those people around us, once we make a leapfrog up with our pay, they turn around and try to leapfrog again.
Yeah.
We're going to do our best to stay ahead of that. When we first started this, we did a 3-year rotation, and we did do that. In 16, we did it in 19, and then we did it in 22. But we feel like we probably ought to go every other year now. So every 2 years instead of 3 years. So that hopefully will not let us get behind. Our county commission has been very good about giving raises. Many people sometimes forget that we get raises, but actually we did get a pretty large increase with 2016 when they did the pay plan. Actually, that was one of the 2 times out of the last 15 years we've increased taxes, and part of that increase was for employees that year. So we did that in 16. We gave a 1.5% in 17, 1.5% in 18, and then we redid the pay plan in 19, which gave another bump and got them to 85% of market. And then in 20, of course, the world turned upside down and nobody did anything. 21, we used COVID money to give a $3,500 bonus to folks. And then in 22 now, we just got through with this pay plan, which gave people quite a bit of pay increase as well. So over the time, the county commission has been very good to their employees. In this world that we live in today, it's a war out there to try to recruit employees. I know you just had a great program ahead of me about teacher incentive pay, about teacher incentive and appreciating those folks. Right. And I heard the other day that we're still 1,000 teachers short in the state of Tennessee right now, but we're short in every job opportunity out there. I think people are striving for workers, and with that strive, comes people increasing pay and trying to get, the next best pay to get people in. So I am very thankful for the process that we've been through there. At the end of the day, we do all the work. It still takes 25 county commissioners to say, yes, let's do it. Very thankful for them, each one of them.
Well, let me ask you this. We'll go to a break.
Are
you pleased? You think this budget is where it ought to be? You don't have a vote, but as county mayor, are you maybe more than pleased?
We are. It was definitely a blessing to have the pay plan put in, have the other needs granted. We granted all the needs that were requested, and not have to do a tax increase. And that's the first thing. Live within your budget is our number one thing. But then also, it's great to say that, but these people out here, they don't want a tax increase, but they do want services, and they expect the best. And you don't want a second-rate ambulance person in the back of that ambulance taking care of you, so you have to pay for that good one to be back there. And so, yes, it worked out. It balanced out. No tax increase, and yet we got what we need. But you'll still hear from these officials, I'm sure, as you have them on, hey, we're still behind. We still need to keep up with the not the Joneses, but keep up with the current people so we can keep our good people here. And I'll make this last statement. There are people that left probably for money. Some left for other reasons, of course, but some leave for money. And it's hard to blame people that want to better themselves. They have a family to support. We understand that. So we need to keep up there. But for those people that said, hey, I love Wilson County, I love where I'm at, I can make more over here, but I want to stay here, I definitely appreciate those people well.
County Mayor Randall Hutto is here. We'll take a break and then talk more on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:47. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Absolute Kubota. They have a fully staffed service center and parts department. Most of their minor services can be done the same day. Servicing Exmark, Kubota, Lampride, Red Max, and Billy Goat, 1506 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still looking live at this crash on 65 northbound at Harding Place. All it's done out here in the last hour or so since this wreck happened is just aggravate that heavy traffic coming out of Williamson County on 65 northbound up from Brentwood and Franklin all the way here up to Harding Place. It's still pretty heavy over here, but it's moving a little bit better on 40 westbound near Donaldson Pike from that earlier crash. And it's right now, again, our biggest delay is 65 northbound coming up from Brentwood. Hey, Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, home of the world famous cotton candy wine. Log on today, GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Do you know why Rocky Williams Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Mount Juliet sells so many cars, trucks, SUVs, and muscle cars? Well, it all starts with a simple idea. Why not give everyone a hassle-free shopping experience for their new or used vehicle with no haggling, no negotiating, and no runaround? Every vehicle on the Rocky Williams lot is marked down incredibly low with the price posted on the window. You're treated with fairness and respect every time. No pressure, just a friendly, warm, inviting staff dedicated to finding the exact vehicle you need. So Rocky Williams from your Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram has become the original no-haggle, one-price dealer. Go online to RockyWilliams.com to see the incredible deals yourself. Every car and truck is listed with a no-haggle low price. This is for real, and you're gonna love it. People drive for miles to get some of the lowest prices in America on their new or used cars or trucks. Go to RockyWilliams.com or come on over to our brand new spacious dealership next to Walmart in Mount Juliet.
I'm Glenn Denton, asking for your vote for the 20th District Commissioner. We have just had a huge property tax hike, and I stand against massive tax increases and irresponsible allocations. In the 2021 budget, 81% of our revenue went to our schools and only 3% to emergency management and 6% to our sheriff department. We cannot operate efficiently on 19% of the budget. I stand as a clear voice for clean government. Please vote Glenn Denton, 20th District Commissioner.
Coleman and Company, County Mayor Randall Hutto is with us. A couple of events over the weekend here we might just mention here this morning. It was 50 year celebration for the city of Mount Juliet, and I think they really did that upright. We talked a lot about it here last Tuesday when they were out here, and of course all this I think at Charlie Daniels Park. It didn't get to make it or anything, but I know they lured some of the TV cameras there and got some TV footage and coverage on what they did. And 50 years ago, Mount Juliet was as we would say, was a different animal, Randall.
It sure was. And, I did get a chance to go to that. It actually got started for me there at 2 o'clock. Jason Johnson, our tourism director, had put together a really neat program to recognize the mural there on the train there for Charlie Daniels, but also the Tennessee Pathway music marker was unveiled there. It had been there for a while, but hadn't, because of COVID, had a chance to recognize it. So he put together a great program. Mr. Rocky, as I call him, the Parks and Rec man of Mount Juliet, really had done a great job of that whole program of the birthday party celebration. And so he was there as well, but Mark Ezel, the Commissioner of Tourism, came and also spoke at that and had a decent crowd there. Charlie Daniels Jr. was there, and so we got to talk to them a little bit. But that started at 2 o'clock and had a good presentation there for Charlie. And and as we said that day, Charlie always loved calling Mount Juliet and Wilson County home, and definitely we loved laying claim to Charlie Daniels, and so that was a win-win for sure. But so I left there and went to the Jazz Festival. We'll talk about that in a minute. But then I came back to the Mount Juliet celebration, and Mount Juliet, believe it or not, sidebar here. The birthday is actually December the 12th, which is my birthday, Coleman. I'm 50 as well, and probably not, but I'd like to be 50. And James Maness is the mayor. His daughter, which is 18, she was also born on December the 12th. But they decided to celebrate, of course, this summer, and it was a tremendous outing. They had lots of booze there, a lot of good food, and I walked around there for probably 3 or 4 hours just talking to people and seeing who all was out. But had some good music and a lot of homegrown talent that was actually on the stage there. But it was really good. Enjoyed listening to them, and just, hats off to those people that put that on. There were a lot of, Sheila Luckett and Kenny Martin and, all of the staff that's there. Everybody has to pitch in and put that on, but they did a great job. The commissioners were there. Mayor Manis was there, of course.
Well, I'm really glad because 50 years is a milestone, and there's been so much growth down there too. Mount Juliet has changed tremendously over those 50 years and grown so much, and so much has been added to our tax rolls of property tax because of the increase in the value of the land and everything down there.
No question about that, and that's probably a challenge in itself, as we continue to grow here in Lebanon as well, and Watertown's growing some. But when you have that tremendous amount of growth at one time, it is tough to manage. You hear the scream is always infrastructure, and all of that, and a lot of times it's hard to predict where that infrastructure needs to be ahead of time, and you have to play catch up quite a bit. But they have done well. They continue to have a lot of pride, as you can see, really displayed throughout their city. I noticed their bridge now is finished, and it's got several emblems on it that really let you know that you're in Mount Juliet. But they do a great job of that, and it was a great celebration.
Well, you did make the Jazz Festival as well, and
I did.
Hats off to John Jewell. John works so hard at that, and of course he's got a team there. It's not just him. I know Glenn Martin has a lot to do with the music, the people that come, and Jeff Tunks is one of these guys that's kind of in the background, but he does a lot, and the others that are part of that. But Watertown has, for several years, kind of been known for two things: the mile-long yard sale and the Jazz Festival.
Yeah, and John does a great job. He hits you early on with, I need some donations, because it takes quite a bit to put that on. And I did get a chance to go up there between the Charlie Daniels marker and the Mount Juliet birthday and walked around there for a little while. And of course, I grew up there, and a lot of those buildings have changed, and a lot of new restaurants are there and new shops. And but they had a great crowd there. I was there from probably an hour and a half, maybe, and it was kind of getting better. And I'm sure that as the night went on, it filled up even more because the sun was out pretty good, so people were banked up against the side of the square that had the shade. But it was really a really good, peaceful atmosphere, and had a lot of good cooking going on because you could smell some good
I
food.
make that when I can, and I would intended to go, but things didn't permit. But I always loved the Van Trees family.
Oh yeah. I grew up with those folks, and definitely are blessed with the talent of music for sure.
And I think they're wanting to, if funds will permit, make it a 2-day event sometime in the future. Now that's kind of. But that's the way John Jewell is. He always thinks ahead, and he is a perfectionist. If they go 2 days, it'll be just twice as good, I guarantee.
Oh yeah, and they had I saw the excursion train there.
Yeah.
So it was there, and unloaded a lot of people. I again, coming from Watertown, I walked around the square. I didn't know a lot of people. There were either a lot of visitors or a lot of people that's moved in that I didn't know. So, but it was good to go.
We got about 5 minutes left here, and again, you don't have any resolutions on the agenda for tonight. You said there might be one or two that are thrown in, I think, but it'll be a pretty, if there is such a thing as a routine meeting, probably, and maybe fairly short.
Yes, sir. Tonight, Commissioner Stafford would have the prayer and pledge, of course. We are going to have a day of prayer for schools initiated by, of course, the Kiwanis Club. Always is a part of that. Commissioner Glover will be in charge of that. There is a rezoning hearing tonight, so there'll be some discussion about that. Annie Barger with the Wilson County Family Resource Center wants to make a quick presentation to the County Commission. And Clark Boyd had called earlier in the month and said he would love to come by and talk to our commission for just a little bit to kind of give them a legislative update, and so we'll allow him to do that. We are going to appoint 5 members to the Audit Committee tonight, which would be Commissioner Rich, Commissioner Bernard, Commissioner Fields, Mr. John Lancaster, and Ms. Lisa McIntosh. Those will be on that particular committee to be submitted. And then 1 member to the BOZA Committee for a 5-year term there. Board of Zoning Appeals is what that means. Mr. Rusty Thompson will be there. We will elect a road commissioner for Zone 1, which is now Kenny Rich's zone, and so the people that qualify for that, the term expires in July. So in August, we always appoint somebody there. The opportunities there, District 5, Jerry McFarland, District 6, Kenny Rich, District 15, Chris Dow, District 17, Rusty Keith, District 19, William Glover, and District 23, Miss Sue Venata. So those are the people that will be up for that particular office tonight. It is a quarterly report, so everybody will be there tonight for those that want to speak during that time.
Well, if everybody's got to do that, it won't be as short as I thought. Not that they wax eloquent, but some of them do talk a little bit.
They do talk some, and not all of them talk as much anymore, but they'll have their reports in the packet. And I will cover just a few more things if I can right quick. You know, it has been a busy month. There's always people talking about, well, tourism and what is there to do in Wilson County, and we just talked about 2 or 3 there. But of course, the race that went on, Eric Moses and them put on another, for the second year, a great race there. We had the Field of Flags out at the Ag Center. The Watertown Water Gun Parade was involved in that. That was a great time. And
you got wet again.
I did get wet again. I saw you there as well. And
I didn't get much wet.
Yeah. And I had, so left out of that program, didn't get a chance to make it to the Mount Jewett Fireworks Show, but did get a chance to watch 11 and 1s and drink a little peach milkshake outside, and it was a great program, a great one as well again. I will mention the fair's coming up. Many people are already gearing up for that. I know Quentin Smith and his crew out there are really already trying to make things happen. And Randall Clemens and Jimmy Comer, definitely Helen McPeak, which is in charge of almost everything, is doing that. And a lot of changes, of course. If you ever have a chance to just drive through there during the day, the $5 million we got from the state last time going towards that Tennessee Made product building, it's up and coming, really looking good. They built 2 more buildings really close by there for FFA, and another building there. We got $9 more million coming. Just signed the contract on it because of State Fair. And that $14 million we're talking about right there, that's state money given to us to put the state fair on. So I couldn't spend it on anything else. Had to go to the Ag Center. I know people, these things kind of out of sight, out of mind, but if you get a chance to go by and see the jail, it's really all brick now in the front, which is a good sight. Commissioner Gary Keith would be very proud. He always worked hard at securing land around there for that jail expansion because he knew that nobody else wanted a jail in their back corner. But so a lot of good things there that are going on. Okay.
We got 45 seconds.
Yes, sir.
I just want to know. I mean, the election's over.
Yes, sir.
And you no doubt breathe a sigh of relief in all of this. But are things kind of back to normal now that the election's over and you're looking for 4 more years and you manage to rest just a little bit?
Well, I will say early voting has started and encourage people to go vote. And I see those people out there right now that are standing. I remember doing that not long ago. And really, you know, I only just won the Republican primary. I still have the general election to be elected. So, you know, people still have to go vote. Okay. So I really.
Almost a formality.
But, you know, I'm very thankful to be there. And I look forward to the next 4 years and hope that we can make a difference and, you know, again, make people proud to live here.
Well, thanks for being with us
Yes,
this morning. We'll see you next month. Count me a Randall Hutto. That's it for a Monday. Join us tomorrow. Till then, I wish you a magnificent day.